Welcome back to another episode of the Two Balls One Basket podcast presented by Playbook Sports. As always, I am your host, Jordan. Usually I have a guest. Today, I'm going to go solo. I'm going to go short. There's just a couple things that I would like to address. And of course, they pertain to the Miami Heat. The first thing I'd like to address is Jimmy Butler. Fans need to understand that he also understands he is the best player on this team. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Bam is the most important, but Jimmy Butler is our best player. Just because Jimmy Butler is not scoring 30 points a game does not mean he doesn't care, does not mean he's not engaged, does not mean he's falling off. We played, I think, the Cavaliers and we won by 40. We played the Portland Trailblazers and we won by 60. Why does Jimmy Butler need to have 25, 30 points if we're going to win by 40 or 60 points? If we're winning by 40 or 60 points and he's not doing that, that's something to be happy about. That's something to be ecstatic about, actually. Not happy. Happy is an understatement. Jimmy Butler, I'm not worried about him because when it gets to this playoff time, he just understands that it's time to turn up. Something goes off in his head that he knows, all right, it's my time to will my team to a championship. Granted, we haven't won a championship. We've been to two finals. He hasn't been the reason we haven't won them. We need to pump the brakes. I don't understand this whole back and forth on Twitter with Jimmy's little groupie, whatever you want to call him. The guy he's just talking ball. Like, he understand you guys are complaining a lot. I'm a Jimmy Butler fanatic. Would I like for him to score 30 points a game? Of course I would. Why? Who wouldn't? But that does not mean I expect him to do it. If the team's winning, I don't necessarily think it matters what Jimmy Butler does. With that being said, the next thing I'd like to address is Tyler Herro. We can't ignore the talent. And it's something about Miami sports. They get these young, uber talented players. Take the Miami Marlins with Jazz Chisholm, for example. Take the Miami Heat with Tyler Herro. Take the Miami Dolphins with Jalen Waddle. All these guys are young superstars that can do whatever they want, whenever they want. The only thing is they're always injured, so they can't always do it. Tyler Herro doesn't really get the love he deserves from this fan base. And I understand some people, they didn't want to give him the money. They didn't want to make him a starter. And I'm either near here or there. I just, it's hard for me because I think he deserves to start. I think he earned the spot. But with this team, especially with the addition of Terry Rozier, I think Tyler Herro off the bench would just do wonders for this team. You cannot ignore if you put Tyler Herro on the bench unit with Kevin Love and Caleb Martin. I'm not exactly sure how much Jaime Jaquez is going to play in the playoffs. And then Jimmy Butler stays with that unit. You have a revolving door of offense at that point. Why would we force him back into a starting lineup? He's been out for only God knows how long. We're coming right down to the wire. Its playoffs are right there. Don't screw with something. The injuries, there's just nothing we can do about it. If he's going to get hurt, he's going to get hurt. Complaining, bitching about it, wanting to trade him. I understand wanting to trade him. If you're going to get something for him, I'll trade him. I prefer not to. I think he's talented. I think he deserves to be here. I think we can win a championship with Tyler Herro. I know some people will disagree with that. My boys, Harry, Royal, whatever. But you have to stay healthy. Availability is the best ability. And he, for some reason, just can't stay healthy. I'm not going to blame ankle sprains. I'm not going to blame foot sprains or if headaches and stuff like that. Those are bitch injuries, but you can't hold on, my cat. Enough. You can't blame somebody and give them the title injury prone because they sprained their ankle. Everybody in the NBA sprains their ankle. Everybody in the NFL, everybody in the NHL, the MLB, take Jazz Chisholm, for example. The guy ran into a wall yesterday and now he's injured. Don't know why I keep bringing up the Marlins because they fucking suck and the Heat don't, but it's the parallel between the two players is just too good to ignore. Tyler Herro needs to get on the court. He needs to change something. It's got to be his preparation, his diet, his training. I don't know what it is, but you need to change something. 5 years you've been here. 5 years you have not been available when needed. The only year you were available was the bubble year, and you can't count that because there was a 2, 3, 4 month break in between. So you had all that time to get healthy. I think if the season went all the way through, who knows? He probably would have been injured. Now, I'm not saying that I don't like Tyler Herro. I love Tyler Herro. I have his jersey. I support him. I want him to stay. I want him to be our third, fourth best player. Don't care which one it is. As long as he's here when we win a championship, I'm happy. But I need him to stay healthy. At this point, we don't know what he's going to do with this team. Terry Rozier's finally coming into his own. It took him longer than expected. And once Tyler Herro comes back, if that is going to change or if that is going to be a detriment to Terry Rozier's play, something's got to change. Erik Spoelstra needs to put his foot down and be like, Dwayne Wade came off the bench. Goran Dragic came off the bench. Just because he comes off the bench for this playoff run doesn't mean next year he won't be a starter again. That is my take on Tyler Herro right now. When he gets back, ease him in, maybe bring him off the bench. If we see that it's working, maybe keep him off the bench. Who cares if you start? If you finish, that's important. I've played basketball. I was never a starter in my entire life, but I finished every game. Granted, I'm making a podcast right now and I'm not suiting up for a fucking game. So what the hell do I know? Now I want to get into Bam Adebayo. You can't complain about Bam Adebayo's play because whether you get offense from him or defense from him, you're getting something from him every single night. My one qualm with Bam Adebayo is that he's relying far too much on his jump shot. When he understands that he is probably the quickest center in the NBA, he can get anything he wants at any point. I love the addition of the three-point shot. Some people complain, he needs to shoot more. Some people complain, he needs to not shoot any. Why, as a fan base, do we complain when we see our own Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro? These are our homegrown players. We drafted them. We nurtured them. We made them what they are. Be happy with the progress that these players have made. Bam Adebayo, when we drafted him, wouldn't even take a fucking hook shot at the block. Now the guy's going for 30 whenever he wants. There's not much to say about Bam Adebayo. I'm very pleased with him. I'm pleased with the progress. I'm pleased with how much better he gets every single year. And he understands now, which is finally, I can't believe it took this long. He understands now that to be a champion, he has to be the second best player on this team. If he's the best player on this team, I don't even want to know what this team's ceiling is. But that's what Jimmy Butler's for. So we don't have to worry about that for right now. The next player I want to address is Terry Rozier. We traded a first-round pick for Terry Rozier. We traded Kyle Lowry. I can't believe we would trade Kyle Lowry. He was literally the greatest player the Miami Heat have ever seen. Fuck me, right? Terry Rozier, I love what he's been doing lately. I think his last couple games, he's had like 24, 27, and 34. That is what this team needs. This team, I can't recall, maybe except for Goran Dragic in the bubble year, have they ever had a point guard that looks to kill? Terry Rozier, when he gets the ball, he's not looking to pass all the time. He's not looking to just get into a set. He's looking to kill you. He wants a bucket. When he first got here, when he would get to the basket, he was getting there at will, but he wasn't getting that friendly bounce. The three-point shot wasn't there. I know that one game in Denver, he had like 7 air balls. He looked really, really bad. Even us at Playbook, we were tweeting, Terry Rozier's shot is really starting to be a concern. Well, the last 3-4 games, I'm not fucking concerned anymore. And whoever tweeted it, get your shit together. Terry Rozier is finally a Miami Heat. Terry Rozier is what we needed. We needed somebody to come and help take the scoring load off Jimmy because we know Bam Adebayo isn't always wanting to be a scorer. This also leads back to the Jimmy Butler discussion. We complain every year that we need to get Jimmy Butler help. So what did we do? We went and got Jimmy Butler help. We went and got somebody that can take the scoring load off. We went and got somebody that if Jimmy Butler's being triple teamed in the playoffs and we're down, whatever, we are confident that we have a second scorer that's available because Tyler Herro's not available. We have a second scorer that can get a bucket from any level on the floor. Terry Rozier is short and probably not the biggest guy, but he's a 3-level scorer. He can score from anywhere. I like this, and I'm very excited to see how this translates to the playoffs because I don't think he hasn't seen a playoff run since he was in Boston. I don't know how many years he's been in Charlotte. I don't know if he's developed any losing habits. I don't know if he forgot what it's like to play on the biggest stage, especially playing for an organization that's infamous for being the nastiest, grittiest, hardest working. When you get to the playoffs, you got these teams that are scoring 130, 140 points. That's not how the Heat play. The Heat want to keep it low. They want an 83 to 80 game. They want a 75 to 79 game. That's what the Heat want. So it's not a big deal if they score. And it looks like Terry Rozier's defense is already this much better than what Kyle Lowry was providing for us. The last player I want to address is Jaime Jaquez. The criticism of Jaime Jaquez lately is understandable. You know, he's a rookie. He's hit his rookie wall. I think we got a little spoiled with the way he started. This kid started and we're like, oh my God, he's not a rookie. Rookies always come back down to earth. He hit his rookie wall. And I think sadly, he's probably lost any minutes he was going to get in the playoffs. If he gets minutes, I feel like there'll be spot minutes. I know Ethan J. Skolnick said this on the last 5 on the Floor episode. He probably went from being a playoff rotation player to just a spot minute player. Haywood Highsmith has taken those minutes. Haywood Highsmith defends. Haywood Highsmith's 3-point shooting. He looks like Wayne Ellington, but buffer. That's fine because Jaime Jaquez is going to be our core moving forward. Our core moving forward, you know, if we keep Tyler, granted, would be Tyler, Bam, Jaime. I'm not sure about Jovic. 5 on the Floor says that the organization seems very content with Jovic. We'll see. And then the last thing I'd like to address, this one's not about a player. This one's about a team. And the team, I would like to know why we take for granted what the Heat do year in and year out. They go to the playoffs every year. Whether they're an 8th seed, whether they're a 5th seed, whether they're a 6th seed, they make deep runs. Take away the one year that they got swept on Milwaukee. They went to the finals the bubble year as a 5th seed. They went to the finals last year as an 8th seed. The one year they were the 1 seed, they were the Jimmy Butler 3-pointer away from probably being NBA champions because I think we would have beaten the Golden State Warriors that year. The part that bothers me is that the Heat are taking this, oh, we don't care what seed we are, a little too far. I appreciate the tenacity, I guess you can call it. But when you get to a point now with a play-in tournament, anything can happen. It's just like it's March Madness at that point. One team could just be off that night. Take last year, for example. We should have been the 7th seed. We just had a really bad night and Atlanta couldn't miss. If we have to get back into that situation, I don't feel comfortable with it. And it's not that I don't think our team is good and Spoelstra can't handle it. I know they can. It doesn't matter what we do because say we get Chicago and DeMar decides to go for 70. Say we get Atlanta and Trey and DeJounte Murray just decide to go for 40 apiece. You need to handle what you can handle. You need to take care of business. When you get to points like this in the season and you have to rely on the teams in front of you to lose, you also have to win. And it doesn't matter that if we say we win out. If Indiana also wins out, we're stuck in the play-in. And that's why I don't like this. They let the teams in front of them decide their fate. If they just I feel like we talk about this every year. The Heat just can't stay healthy. And it screws them in the end. I also don't like this narrative that's the media starting to get. I liked it better when they counted us out. They would be like, oh, the Heat have nothing. The Heat are a first round exit. The Heat are going to lose in the plan. Now it's nobody wants to see the Heat in a 7-game series. We saw what they did last year. Who cares what seed they are? I don't like that we have to think about it like that. And as a fan, you just want your team to do the best they can. You want your team to be a 1 seed. You want your team to be a 2, 3 seed, whatever. But every year having to rely on being a 6, 7, 8 seed and go to the finals, it's starting to wear on me. My heart hurts. I'm sick. I have to hear my friends in Playbook tell us about the spaces and what some of the people are saying. Oh, everybody's so negative. Everybody's giving up on the team. They're trying to trade Tyler. They want to trade this guy. And that's all because of what the Heat do to us. They drive us nuts. Long story short, I'm ready for a playoff run. I'm not worried about Jimmy Butler in the slightest. I think as soon as that time comes, he's going to turn up. Everybody's going to say, okay, that's Michael Jordan again. His friend, whatever his name is, I agree with you. I don't agree with some of the things you're saying to these people. It's a little wild, and I think it's kind of funny, but it's also kind of mean. The Heat will be fine. Jimmy Butler will be fine. Terry Rozier, great addition. I hope when Tyler Herro comes back, he understands that the team isn't all about him. They're here to win a championship. And if him coming off the bench, if him sacrificing minutes is the best thing to do that, he needs to be a professional and he needs to understand that. With that being said, that's all I got today. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at PlaybookSN. Visit our website, playbooksn.com. We have articles coming out every day. Our buddy David Farrell's writing Heat articles. Follow us on Twitter. We're talking about the Marlins, who are 0-7. And if they don't win, I'm going to burn my jerseys and then I'm going to put them in the oven and broil them. I can't deal with it anymore. I'm covering the Florida Panthers, who are ready for a deep playoff run. Inter Miami, even though Messi can't stay healthy for shit. I didn't bring him up because he's not young. He's old as fuck. Miami sports are going to be fun this year, except for the Marlins. So remember, make sure to follow us on Twitter at PlaybookSN. Visit our website, playbooksn.com. Thank you for listening. Go Heat. Tyler, stop being a bitch.